Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You've got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's MRN's Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are glad you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here talking sprint car racing. Our favorite time of the week, one of our least favorite weeks of the year. Because only 51 more weeks until the Knoxville Nationals.
I know. The countdown has already started.
The countdown has started. We are glad you joined us. And it seems like every time we wrap up the Knoxville Nationals, we talk with Donny Schatz. He's a 10-time winner. And yes, we will talk with Donny in just a little bit. And we will break down the 57th running of the 5-Hour Energy Knoxville Nationals presented by Casey's General Store. And really, when we look at our classic ink, screen printing, and embroidery hot topics, Donny Schatz continues to be the hot topic, especially when it comes to Knoxville.
Incredible. I mean, what he does there is magic. You know, last year Jason Johnson beat him and won and threw everything off. But this year he came back and showed what he's capable of, and it's just dominance.
No doubt. It is dominance. It is strong. We have the little asterisk about what would David Gravel would have done.
Yep.
But if you're not around at the end, that's racing. I mean,
Yeah,
and I hate
yeah.
it for David, but that's
Yeah.
just the reality. A car with a parts failure loses every time.
Absolutely. And like we talked about the other day, if Kyle had a few more laps, maybe he could have been it. But the last lap is all that matters.
That's right. Donny made it to
Yeah.
lap 50 faster than everybody else.
Yep.
And it was a Donny Schatz show, and we will talk to Donny Schatz in just a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about David Gravel. I'm telling you what he authored on Wednesday night was absolutely amazing with the perfect score.
His heat race alone
Spectacular.
was spectacular. And if you haven't seen it, you can go back on the cushion. And I know people have been posting it on Twitter because it was unbelievable. I mean, all four tires over the cushion. And making it like work for multiple laps is something that is, I don't know, it's kind of unheard of.
It really is an amazing, amazing run by David Gravel and an amazing start to the A-Main.
Yeah.
He looked awful stout, and it would have been interesting to see what would have happened, but ultimately it didn't matter, and now David Gravel's kind of got to pick up the pieces of heartbreak and move forward.
Absolutely. But the heartbreak, but at the same time, he knows that he had a car that was capable of winning, and he put himself in the position to do it. So, yeah, I'm sure he's a little bit down, but in the back of his mind, he knows it wasn't because of him or the car. I mean, they had it. It was a part failure.
It was a part failure, no doubt about it. Kind of the big story at Knoxville and the big story across American motorsports was Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
Wow, what a weekend for Kyle.
Incredible, and we all have to thank Chip Ganassi
Yes,
for
indeed.
letting him
No doubt.
race. But what he did, finishing second at the Knoxville Nationals on Saturday night and then winning a cup race on Sunday, to me is like, I don't even know, out of this world.
It was unreal watching him. It was a huge favor having Chip allow him to do that race.
Yep.
And it was just like Kyle at the end just willed the victory back to Chip, is what it was to me
Yeah,
on
it
that
was like,
restart.
this
It
is
was
your
like,
thank you.
You did me a favor. I'm going to do this. Watch this. I'm going to start in the fourth spot. I'm going to come right up the middle. I'm
Yeah.
going to pass. And like he said in Victory Lane, and I think that was the fun part about it, is all of the sprint car references really in the entire broadcast of the race. But like he said on the front stretch, Martin Truex Jr., who was our Donny Schatz right now, pretty good compliment for Truex, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be using NASCAR as like a analogy for sprint car racing, it was like, I don't know, it was like he put sprint car racing here and we're just going to use this analogy for NASCAR. I thought that was awesome.
It really was cool. It really was so much fun. And really Kyle Larson, one of the big elements of it. Just absolutely amazing. And I think the other thing is that we've talked a lot. Kyle's bandwagon, the drum that Kyle has been beating all year long is we understand that NASCAR is looking for growth.
Yep.
Okay, we understand we've fallen a little bit of going forward. Okay,
Yep.
and everyone says it's this, it's that, it's this, and that, and that. Kyle's drum is we NASCAR have
Yep.
lost touch with the grassroots, and he thinks more drivers should go out and do it. I'm telling you, with watching this weekend, I think it becomes a very valid point because I know for a fact on Sunday afternoon, we had sprint car fans that haven't tuned into NASCAR races here on MRN. I know that for a fact. I've got social media from them and tuned into NBC that didn't. And then to have Kyle Larson deliver that present to him at the end, maybe we've gained a few NASCAR friends along the way.
Absolutely, and to know that Kyle really gets that and he's really trying to push that message. When he landed from the airport from Michigan Speedway, he literally had the truck stop and drop him off at our stage to be on the show. And when he got up on the stage, he took all the time in the world, and he talked about how important it is, you know, to people to watch NASCAR the next day and to enjoy grassroots racing. Like, he really understands it, and he's passionate about it, and he's willing to take the time with the fans to get them to appreciate both.
It really, really is good. You know, our sprint car world at times we get a little snobbish. We have some names that pop up on social boards about NASCAR racing and everything else. The reality of it is stronger NASCAR means stronger sprint car. Stronger sprint car means stronger Indy car. Stronger Indy car means stronger modified, stronger everything. We need stronger motorsports. And if it's a little bit of a pull from the sprint car world to jump in and jump behind NASCAR, if it's Ryan Newman going out and running a Silver Crown car at ORP or a modified somewhere along the way, or Kyle Busch going out and running his super late model.
I agree.
I love it. I really do. Connecting that driver. I've had countless people over the last couple of months say, I watched Bobby Ellison race this.
Yeah,
Bobby Ellison was the ultimate doing it. And,
absolutely.
And so consequently, it was a fascinating weekend. It was a fun weekend, there's no doubt about it. And then really the Knoxville off-track shenanigans and social event and charitable endeavors.
Yes.
So many neat things happen out there at that family reunion called the Knoxville
Absolutely,
Nationals.
and I think Kendra Jacobs is responsible for growing that a bit. But the amount of activities that were going on during the day for fans, for kids, for anyone was awesome. And of course, the nightlife after the party is always great at Knoxville. But I've been going to the Knoxville Nationals since 2000. I think I missed a few years in there. But I've never seen a crowd that big, ever. I mean, when the backstretch grandstands were just about full, I know we've talked about it. It was electric. It's a place that you have to experience.
Indeed. I think one of the coolest moments as I look back, we have these snapshots of our week out in Knoxville. The kids zone, they had a kids zone there, and watching Tony Stewart and Donny Schatz hold court with kids only, a kids only Q&A session, and then a kids only autograph session. You know, that's the future. That's what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
And just so much fun with that. That's one that really jumps out to me. And you're right. I do kind of need to mention this, that and Kendra put something out, or Knoxville put something out. They're redesigning the grandstands.
Yeah.
Okay. And in redesigning the grandstands, as is the case with all American motorsports these days, because we're all getting wider, they're all making the seats wider.
Yeah.
Well, when you make the seats wider, you have less seats.
Yep.
And so Knoxville tickets are going to be a premium. We're awful
agree.
close to a sellout. And so I understand it's a smaller number, but the bottom line of it is the electricity there was unreal. Yep. And we're at the stage next year where if you're thinking about going to Knoxville, as soon as you make that call, you better get those tickets ordered up.
I think she said tickets go back on sale the first Monday in October.
First Monday in October. So just great stuff. It really was a wonderful time at the Knoxville Nationals. We appreciate everyone that stopped by the Articat stage, the Articat Wing Nation stage presented by Sage Fruit, and all of our partners out there that took us out there. We had 4 fantastic shows, more laughs than you could shake a stick at, and just a wonderful time. And, you know, you kind of say, well, you can say everything you want, and you can really say, no, it's just Knoxville.
Yeah.
It's just the Knoxville Nationals.
And it's really hard to describe how
It is
awesome
hard to describe how it is. So those of you that didn't make it this year, join us next year out at the 58th running of the Knoxville National. And there you have it, the Classic Ink, screen printing and embroidery, hot topics. ClassicInkUSA.com is the website for great hats, great t-shirts, great towels, great hoodies, whatever you want. If you want corporate events, if you have school events or church groups, or of course racing groups, you can do what Brian Brown, Donny Schatz, Danny Dietrich, Danny Lasowski, Brady Bacon, and more do. They trust Classic Ink USA, and you can too. It's www.classicinkusa.com. When we come back, the 10-time champ of the Knoxville Nationals, Donny Schatz. He joins us next.
I'm Kerry Madsen, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum's newest feature exhibit is our Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell, June 9th through October 15th, at the only museum in the world solely dedicated to sprint car racing, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Stop in and check out 8 of Sammy's original race cars and see his trophies, uniforms, and more as you learn about his outstanding career. The Salute to Champion Sammy Swindell is only this season at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Bagley. Join me every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. This one-hour interactive show takes you beyond the typical storylines in NASCAR with the stars of the sport.
The celebration's been fun. I mean, afterwards, I guess I didn't leave the track until by 1:30, so I caught up with my crew in South Beach.
NASCAR Live also gives you in-depth analysis with MRN's top personalities.
Because for me, the decisive moment of this championship was when...
Check it out, NASCAR Live, this Tuesday night at 7 Eastern on the Motor Racing Network.
I'm Danny Holcraver, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength, and we are glad you joined us. Let's go right to the hotline. Joining us now, it's a nice even number, nice 10. It's a much nicer number than 9.
Yes.
When you look at the number of times he's won the Knoxville Nationals, he is a 10-time champ at the big race. Donny Schatz is on the line. Hello, Donny. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, congratulations, champ. Man, what a night for you and the guys. What a week in Knoxville. Just kind of describe here a few days later, as you look back on it, how things went, how things progressed, and what it was all about on Saturday night.
Well, we're awful excited to win the Nationals. It's it's that one race in all of sprint car racing that every driver, every car owner, every crew member wants to put their name on, and what my guys go through every year to try to be in that position, the pressure they put on themselves, and the work they go through. It's there's no better feeling, obviously, than to leave there winning that race. So it's still kind of riding the high, and obviously trying to work on what's going to happen here this week and get back to reality with the World of Outlaws and hit 3 shows in North Dakota. So it's still another big week for me.
Donny, congratulations from me. The track seemed a little tricky this year. Obviously, every year it's a little bit different, but the cushion looked rough. It didn't look like there was much of a bottom. Tell us a little bit about the track itself during the A-Main.
Obviously the first time we'd seen the equipment on the track all week during the racing event was right before the A-Main on Saturday night. And, I'm not a track specialist. I'm not a expert on anything by that means, but we all kind of were scratching our heads going, man, what are they, what's the goal here? Was the top too fast? Or was, they thought it was going to go away? I'm not sure. There's always, some sort of motive that's behind doing rework of the racetrack before the main, but those guys did a phenomenal job all week. They provided great racing. There was 2 grooves most of the week, and Saturday's going to be that way. You can only race so many days, on that dirt surface and keep the bottom that good. And, there was a little bottom there. Obviously, Erin figured out how to get himself up through the field on the bottom. So, it's just how you had your race car, where the fastest part of the track was at times. And you're right, the top was very, it had some holes there. It was kind of choppy, and you had to hit it just right. And if you didn't, it kind of put you in a bad spot. But if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and it was definitely a little bit tricky. So you got to have them scenarios sometimes.
Donny, the first 22 laps of the race, you had a rabbit out in front of you, a guy by the name of David Gravel, who was just absolutely flying. When you have a situation like this and you understand it's a 50-lap race, is it a matter of keeping up? And you have a break also. Was it a matter of working on your car, finding your pace, keeping his pace? What's going through your mind? What are you doing during those laps when you have a situation like that?
Well, there isn't anything that I can do about the how fast he is or what it is he's doing. But if I feel like I'm overdriving my race car, I got to keep myself in check and keep myself keep my bearings underneath me. I mean, you can drive them so hard that you just abuse the tires and everything else on the car. And obviously they had a motor issue, so it's something, the motor, he either overused it, or I don't know that they had a failure or what happened, but it's part of the game. To get to the end of the race, you got to not always use everything you got for the first part of the race. And last year was kind of living proof of that. We went pretty hard. We maybe didn't go 100%, but we were definitely 96. And then, at the end of the race, we weren't there. Jason won the race, and we were lacking a little. So a lot of them scenarios play out in your mind. You try to keep, you remember things that happened in the past. And 50 laps is a long race for these motors and what have you when you're racing at that speed. So, it worked out for us, and obviously those guys it didn't.
Yeah, obviously. Donny, talk a little bit about the lap traffic. It seemed trickier watching from the grandstands for me than it has been in past years. I don't know if it was the track conditions or the lap traffic is that much more competitive, but it seemed a little trickier this year for you.
Well, I think it's got to do with the fact that the lap traffic, this is the A-Main at the Nationals. This was the best of the best 24 cars that were there that week. And, the guys that are lap traffic are no slouches. And when you get yourself in a position to get by someone, you got to go for it. And that, when I got close enough to someone to slide them, a lot of the guys were running the top. I did that. I got myself caught up there at the end. I tried to slide a lap car. I thought I was clear, and he obviously didn't think so. So I thought we were going to actually get together, but we didn't. So thank goodness for that. This way it goes. Lap cars are not intended to have to get out of the way or whatever. It's not how racing is. I wouldn't expect to be in that position or expect anybody to do that. But it worked out for us. Obviously, you give Kyle a good shot at us. Otherwise, we were about the same speed on the cushion, and just had to do what we had to do to get to the checker first.
Donny, when we're sitting there in the stands, we're watching this race, and we're watching Kyle close in on you, and we're watching this unfold. Do you sense that? Do you know that? Did you see that? We have kind of the advantage of this perspective. Do you know you're not getting through traffic fast enough? How does that work when you look at the last 2 or 3 laps of a race? Do you know you're under fire like that?
I knew I'd be under fire from someone. It's very, the end of the race was keeping your speed up the best you could. And when I got to lap traffic and you try to slide someone and you can't get by them, you lose all that momentum, and you can lose a quarter of a lap to somebody instantly. And you can't just get that speed back right away. It takes a while to get that built back up. Otherwise you spin your tires so bad. So I always expect someone to be there. So I feel like if I make a mistake or I'm not able to clear someone the right way, I'm just expect someone that's going to be there to capitalize on it. So then you have to start doing things differently. And, that's what it was. That's what I had to do. I had to try to, keep attacking and not let it get away from me. And, Kyle obviously got to us there, and it's just really hard to get off that cushion. You just had to you had to be on it. You had to carry so much speed that it was just a little bit different racetrack at the end than what I think any of us expected, or maybe would have changed something a little bit different for that. But it worked out, and we can enjoy it now.
Donny, when you first started racing, did you ever in your wildest dreams think that you'd win 1 Knoxville Nationals, let alone 10?
Absolutely not. I think anybody that actually has a dream like that is probably as arrogant as the day is long. And I think you dream. Obviously, everybody dreams of winning the race. That's within the realms of it. But when you dream, you don't look past that. You just think about that one time. I remember the first World of Outlaw win. I felt that way about. But once you win it, it's like an addiction. It's like a drug. That's the only thing you want to settle for. That's what you want to do, and that might make you greedy for being in that position, but that's what racing is. That's why, sprint cars are as popular as they are. That's why there's as many people doing it as there are, and we all keep coming and enjoying it, have the festivities, and have the following that we have at last week's event. So, it's great to be a part of it, and it's really tough to stay on the competitive edge, but we'll keep working at it.
Donnie, I know you go there loaded for bear. I know you go there just on your A game all the time. But not winning it last year, was there any? I can't even imagine asking Donny Schatz if there's any sense of more drive, because you're the most driven guy that I know. But was there any sense of I've got to get back on the top step of the podium there?
No, Steve, it's not really like that. I let last year's event go. I know where I made my mistakes and what I could have done different. All you can do is learn from your mistakes and move on. You can't sit and dwell on it. Just like now, I'm enjoying a 10th Nationals victory, but I'm focused on what's going to happen Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here in North Dakota. And you have to, even though we've enjoyed it, the race team is already, working on what we got next here to get through this week and get things better to finish up the season. So I think it's just it's part of the world of outlaw life. Once you do that, you don't know any better. That's what you want to do. And when you race against some greatest guys every day, you get that opportunity to do that. You don't want to settle for second best. So you just keep ticking along and don't worry about what happened yesterday. It's all about tomorrow.
Friday night, River City Speedway. Saturday, Red River Speedway. Sunday, Nodak Speedway, all up in North Dakota. Donnie, so you're right. It does move on. The tour moves on, and you've got some races to go out and battle with this weekend. Congratulations again on the victory. And as always, Donnie, we appreciate your time here on Wing Nation.
Thank you, guys.
There we go. Donny Schatz joining us here on the program. And that's always a challenge for me, because I'm a radio guy. The mind of a racer always fascinates me, because it's not like the mind of a top athlete is not like the mind of most of us.
Oh, I agree.
And that's why I love picking a guy like Donny Schatz's brain, because it's like if I'd won 9 of them and I lost that, I'd be so obsessed with that loss that I'd drive it right out of the ballpark.
Absolutely.
I would lose my mind. But that's why I'm not Donny Schatz.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Amazing. It's amazing. It really is. Hey, let's step away. We'll be back. Let's talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. And we'll start moving forward as well on MRN's Wing Nation.
Hi, I'm Rico Aber, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Summer Brake Deals event. Take advantage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Do It Right rebate and get a $25 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment, where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcasts elevate your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack. He tries to slide up. Newman is there. Sideways is Keselowski.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
Hi, I'm Casey Kane. Now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Casey. Welcome back. It is great to have you joining us here on MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Time to talk about one of our favorite places and a place we got to hang out last week.
Yes.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And on Monday birthdays, I would say a very happy Ron Shaver.
Yeah.
It's the engine builder for Donny Schatz. Probably a good day for Shaver, I'm sure.
Yo, absolutely.
Brian Monteith, the Edge. Wednesday birthday, Hal Robson. Thursday birthday, Tommy Estes Jr. and Granville Hank Henry. And Saturday, Steve Stapp and Mike Peters. Let's talk a little bit about Hank Henry. 1999 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Lived his life from 1925 to 1968. He was a driver and a builder. Sprint cars, midgets, super modifieds. Died in a crash at Ascot. But I think the thing I found real interesting about Hank Henry is he was inducted because he was a builder. And there's speculation that he may have built as few as 20 cars.
Wow.
But he was very meticulous, very precise, and like a clown, let's just say a clown like Kreger and I wanted to go talk to him about building a car, clowns like us, he wouldn't deal with anybody.
Wow.
He only dealt with premier drivers and then had success and turned out to be a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, that's what got him inducted.
That's what got him inducted. So great stuff, all part of the stories told at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa, right out from turn number 2, sprintcarhof.com. And, oh, my gosh, this is so sad, but let's roll that footage, the 4-wide salute. Oh, as we say goodbye to Knoxville, one of the favorite things. I love the 4-wide salute. And look at that. There they are. And if those of you watching, those of you listening, you can't see this, but those of you watching on Facebook Live, you can see it, and I love the push trucks behind the cars.
Me too. It's such a neat
I
addition.
love that. I just love that. So there you have it. The 57th annual Knoxville Nationals is in the books, and 51 weeks until we do it again. Let's step away. We'll be back with more MRN's Wing Nation in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Kyle Larson, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery is constantly testing the limits of custom racewear and specialized embroidery. Headquartered in Western Pennsylvania, Classic Ink holds the highest standard, maximizing your return as well as the ultimate customer satisfaction. From track swag fanwear to quick crew wear, Classic Ink has you covered. Their dedicated staff and designers will keep your race team and fans looking sharp. Contact Classic Ink today and get your team ahead of the competition. www.classicinkusa.com. That's Classic Ink at the track and on your back.
Only the best go 3 abreast, and they're coming to a track near you in 2017. No matter where you're at, the American Sprint Car Series is near you. From the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, presented by the Mad TV Motorsports Network, to any of the 7 ASCS Regional Tours, there's over 150 nights of racing to choose from in 2017. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Listen live on RacingBoys.com and get the full rundown at ASCSRacing.com.
O'Reilly. When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Kerry Madsen, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Thank you, Bad Man. Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. And the good news is we've got a lot of races coming up, and we'll talk more about those on Thursday with our MRN Wing Nation weekend podcast by Hepner Racing Products. But, you know, the folks in Pennsylvania, when we go to Knoxville, it's kind of like a week off of Pennsylvania drama, Pennsylvania life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, where we get into that, you know, our crazy uncles up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Well, they're back for 4 nights this weekend with the All-Stars rolling into town.
True. And there were a few at the Wing Nation stage, too. Every time we mentioned PA, we had
no doubt about that. You can't go anywhere without some Pennsylvania posse. Someone actually tweeted a picture. Someone had the Pennsylvania posse flag flying right below the American flag out in Knoxville as well. And so Pennsylvania, you know, the Arctic Cat All-Stars, they've got 4 nights out there with Grandview on Thursday night, Williams Grove on Friday, Lincoln on Saturday. A lot of excitement around Susquehanna Speedway as they get the All-Stars back there.
Yeah.
So really, really cool at the end of 4 nights. And just read this morning that Sammy is going to drive Mark Cauldron's 07 car.
That'll make things interesting.
Throw Sammy into the mix. That's what you need just to get Pennsylvania all stoked up, because there's no drama, no excitement over there anyhow. So it is going to be big. And as Donnie talked about, the World of Outlaws, I think the good news for them is they've had the short drive up to North Dakota, kind of with the exception of Donnie, which is now home races.
Yeah.
Everyone else kind of lick their wounds and catch their breath, regroup. And now we get real serious as far as championships and points and trying to jockey around whether you're running for the win or a top 5 or wherever you're at with it. We'll just roll along with that. But just some amazing, amazing stuff. And again, so many amazing things happen out at Knoxville with the Knoxville Nationals. And again, we do want to thank everyone for stopping by the stage as we did Arctic Cat Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. Erin, what a crowd every night. Great crowd. And we really want to salute all of the drivers and everyone that comes and joins us on the stage. You know, I mean, from the Kyle Larsons and Casey Canes to Tony Stewart's to our regular sprint car buds to the Tim Clausens of the world that bring their story to us. Just absolutely amazing. we're so fortunate to get to do what we do.
Absolutely. It was a great week, and
Great
it was
week.
so fun to be a part of our show.
It really is. So much fun to be part of the Knoxville Nationals. So much more fun, though, for Donny Schatz, and far more lucrative, that's for sure. But we appreciate him and you for joining us here today.
You've been listening to Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength. You can also find Winged Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.